everybody. This is Steph Palermo, and it's the Just Steph Show. Everybody has two lives. The second one begins when you realize you only have one. We are second lifers. We're empty nesters, newly single, and those starting over H3. Your healthy, happy, hip years are just beginning, and I'm so excited today. I am broadcasting from Regis College, my alma mater. This is amazing. I'm happy to be home. I'm just kind of a little shell-shocked with the whole technology thing and trying to hook up with Atlanta and all of that, but it's okay. It's all going to be good, and the bat phone is connected, so give me a buzz to chat today, 404-603-8770. Tell me what's going on in your life. I want to hear from you, and we have the Just Steph Rules of Dating coming up, and Living Atlanta. But today in the studio, I am so excited. I have Bobbie Carlton. Hey, Bobbie.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm just a little discombobulated, but that's all right. I'm good. But Bobbie is the founder of Carlton PR and Marketing, Innovation Nights, and Innovation Women.
Because there aren't enough hours in the day for a fourth company.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I mean, you're busy, but we're going to talk more about what you do in your biz. But we're going to tap into your genius as well. So I'm so thrilled that you're here because I love how Boston handles all the women entrepreneurs. I think it's great. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. So, but first, what'd you do this weekend? Anything fun?
What did I do this weekend? I had big naps. There were like lots of napping. So, because sometimes that's what you need to do on a weekend.
Yeah, you do. I worked.
That's what I usually do on the weekend. Hence the need for napping this weekend.
Yeah, well, you know, it's nice because when you're an entrepreneur, I was saying this, actually, my boyfriend lives here in Boston. So I said to him, I go, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working. It's 10:30 at night. And he said, well, what is wrong with you? And I said, well, this is the price you pay for being an entrepreneur, but it gives me the opportunity, it affords me the chance to travel when I want. Mm-hmm. I can do stuff with my son. I can be there. I can pick him up from school when he calls and says he forgot his book bag. I can do that. So it's really works for me. And I actually like to work on the weekend when I don't have any interruptions with having to go pick somebody up or appointments or anything. So.
One of the sayings I've heard about entrepreneurship is it gives you that flexibility you need in your life. You can work any 100 hours a week you want.
Right, absolutely, and I love it. So, but last weekend, I'll tell you what I did. I had a lot of fun. I was at Hal's. Have you ever been to Atlanta?
I have, on some of the hottest, stickiest days of the year.
Oh, well, we'll have to get you to come down there and come out with me. In Bucket.
You can tell me which Peachtree Street I need to go to.
I don't even know that. Are you kidding me? I don't even know how to get anywhere. And it's very funny when I drive. If I say, I'm going to go into Atlanta, like I've been there for 20.
It gets into your blood. Boston.
Yeah, but you know what? I've been there for 26 years, and I haven't lost my accent, and I don't know where I'm going. I still say 5, 7, and like 4, 5, and 7 for TV stations.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm originally from upstate New York. I've been here for 35 years now, and I still think a little bit about New York.
I know it's just hard when it's sort of ingrained in who you are. But I was at Hal's last Thursday and had way too much fun. So that was great. And I hadn't been to Hal's in so long. And on Saturday, I took my kids and my mom. My mom lives with me in Atlanta, but she's actually moving back. She has a boyfriend too in Boston. So she's moving.
Boston's good for those things.
Oh yeah. Many. So anyway, we went to the farmhouse at Serenby is this little community south of the city that is a little like this self-sustaining farm, but it's just like really quaint and cute. It's just a lovely, lovely place. Now I wouldn't want to live there; it's too far away from everything else. But it's pretty self-sustaining. They have like really nice restaurants, and they have everything right in their little community. They also have a playhouse, and one of my dear friends, a BFF from Atlanta, is an actress, and she was the star of the Little Mermaid. She played Ursula. So the
villains are always the way to go.
She was amazing, and, and we had such a good time. So, and we ate at the farmhouse, and it was like farm to table food.
Nice.
It was my kids loved it. So it was really a lovely weekend, and then I worked the rest of the weekend. So, you know, I wanted to get into how you can give some pointers and tips on growing your business and your brand through visibility, and some of the things that you do for your clients, and, you know, give us some hints and give me some hints, because I'm really, I don't know if you know much about me, but, you know, I stayed home with my kids for 20 years.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, what am I going to do?
It's interesting because my husband was the stay-at-home parent
Right.
from day one. You know, it's like I popped out the kids and handed them over.
Nice.
And he has been home for 21 years. And he found some of the same things I think that traditionally women find.
Right.
That, you know, he started to look at how he got back into the job market and things like that around the time that the kids were going to school.
Right.
And as he said, you know, no one wanted him. His skills needed updating. He didn't know exactly what it was he wanted to do. So he's a musician. But before we had kids, he worked in the financial services industry. Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense.
Well, math, usually musicians are very good in math, right?
He says musicians can count to 4.
There you go.
1, 2, 3,
Right.
4. Yeah. But he worked in the financial services industry before we had kids.
Right.
And as he put it, I had a career and he had a job.
There you
So it made perfect sense.
Right.
The way I position it, if he was the working parent, we'd be living in a van.
Well,
You know, because
it all works.
musicians
I know.
traveling around,
That's right.
bands.
I know. And it's very difficult to earn a living.
Yeah, absolutely.
difficult.
Any artist.
It's like radio. I mean, but you know, I love that. I love that whole, you know, that, you know, you were open to that. I love that. I mean, I just think that you have to do what works for you.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that more in the Just Steph Rules of Dating, because I think hitching your wagon to an entrepreneur can be difficult.
Absolutely. And I always say I married poorly to be an entrepreneur. It would be awesome if I was married to somebody who had benefits. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I know. There you go.
Now I have to bring them in.
It's so true. I guess it's all on you. How many kids do you have?
We have 2. And 21 and almost 16. So the college bills are looming.
Right. Yeah, there it is.
Eek.
I know, crazy. So let's talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. I know that in Boston they have such great programs like I Fund Women, and you know, I've actually reached out to the mayor's office just to get an interview and talk.
So supportive.
But they came right back to me.
Yep.
They, you know, he couldn't do it, but you know, they were very right on, you know, Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, they're really incredibly supportive, and actually the entire region. There's so much support for entrepreneurs here. I call it the embarrassment of riches, and you know, there is some aspect of it that kind of ends at the end of the red line. Cambridge and Boston, you know, separated by the Charles,
Right.
but you have nightly events, breakfast meetings, seminars, contests, co-working spaces.
Right.
Everything an entrepreneur needs. I mean, you know, if you have to walk more than 20 feet to find a mentor, I'd say, you know, you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
You know, you can go on to any number of local calendars and look at all the free events that are happening. Right. You know, I've been running for the last 9 years an event called Mass Innovation Nights. We've helped launch over 1,000 new products in 9 years. And those companies combined have gotten more than $2 billion in collective funding. And
Wow.
we do that all for free. We do a monthly event that generates millions of views. It's a month-long marketing program that leads up to a live event with hundreds of attendees who are all blogging and tweeting and posting video and pictures
Right.
about these new products. And this is just one event in a huge ecosystem.
So how many do you have those? How often do you host those?
Once a month.
Once a month.
We did an event on Monday night. It was our 109th event.
Wow.
Literally 9 years ago, we started this month.
I love that. So, so what do you basically, you're getting people in there that are getting ready to
ready to actually launch a new product. And it's not just startups. Larger companies have actually used the platform to launch their new products as well.
Right.
So IBM, Intuit, LogMeIn have all launched new products with our system.
I'm very impressed with people who just come up with new products, or maybe like a line of their own line of skincare. In you know, I don't know if you know Jamie Chalaki. She's in Boston Businesswomen as well. She just came up with a new hair serum.
Oh,
and she's working with I Fund Women.
Yep.
And I donated to that because, well, I wanted a sample of that serum. So, but you know, it's just amazing how I'm very impressed with that. I think it's amazing.
I love people who look at a problem and say, I can solve that problem not only for myself but for others.
Right.
Makes so much sense. I have to admit, there are products out there that I look at and I say, that's a solution in search of a problem, but the problem-solving products are usually the ones that are the most successful.
Right, right, because somebody says, oh, I need, and as things evolve in our world with technology and whatnot, there's more and more need for products.
Yeah.
You know, something to make things a little bit easier to handle. Like I was talking to you today about having one platform where I could, you know, broadcast my show,
right?
You know, on many different social media avenues. And I know they're out there. I just don't know where they are.
There's so many options that we can look at.
There are. But, you know, there's always something. So what I love about you is you support women, and, of course, Boston is very supportive of women entrepreneurs. But I saw with my speaking engagements, you were so generous in tweeting about it, or, you know, retweeting or sharing or letting people know that I was speaking at these places, which, even though if I was in Atlanta, somebody looking for a speaker in California or wherever could look and say, oh, well, Stephanie is speaking.
Right. So I have this theme, tagline, call it, visibility equals opportunity. Every time you get on stage and you have the ability to tell your story, you can connect with customers, with partners, with potential funding. If you're looking for a new job, if you're a more senior person and looking for a board seat, every time you are out there speaking in front of an audience, there's opportunity sitting in every single seat in that audience. And not just in the room that you're speaking to. Because today, you know, we're all running around with a computer in our pocket, and we have a network that we are connected with. Even if you're not crazy into social media, like I am, all you have to do is say, I saw Steph speaking and she was awesome and she gave me these tips, and somebody listening to that recommendation, that endorsement, reaches out directly to you.
Well, word of mouth is the best
advertisement.
I mean, it just, you know, and letting people know what you liked and what worked and what you heard is just, it just helps. Yeah. And you go, oh, well, you know, if someone says to me, oh, I've been listening to this on YouTube, you know, these motivational speakers, then I go and look it up.
Yep, absolutely. You know? So that's actually my right now my focus is a new company called Innovation Women.
Right.
It's a speakers bureau, or as we call it, a visibility bureau for entrepreneurial and technical women. And the goal is to get more women speaking at conferences and events. I spent my career in high tech, and I spent so much time sitting in an audience looking at the all-male, all-pale panels at the front of the room, no diversity, no inclusion, and frankly, some kind of bland conversations.
Right.
Every time you get a different person on the panel and a different perspective, it's so much more interesting.
Right. It makes it more dynamic.
Absolutely. So Innovation Women is out there, and it's designed to connect event managers with truly awesome speakers who just happen to be women.
That's right.
Just happen to be.
And I'm one of them.
That's right.
So yeah. So how are you promoting that to event? How are you reaching out to the event people to get the looks at people like me?
Yep. So taking one step back, there's 3 ways that our speakers get speaking engagements. Number 1, an event manager goes in, signs up for a free account on our platform, and searches the database for what they need. You need somebody to talk about digital marketing, we got it. You need somebody to talk about relaxation techniques for entrepreneurs, we got it. You want somebody to talk about cybersecurity or Internet of Things or marketing or whatever, we've got it. So they can search by topic, they can search by location. We actually have members all over the world. In December, we placed our first 2 speakers in London.
I want to go.
I do too.
Let's
Actually,
go.
the one I wanted to go to was in Florence, Italy at the Florence Opera House.
Oh, nice. There you go.
So that's the first way. An event manager comes in and directly invites a speaker. We don't get in the middle, we just make that connection.
Right.
The second way is we have a newsletter that comes out every week
I love it.
with, it's ugly. You may love it, but it's kind of ugly because it's got a huge list in it. And that huge list is all kinds of speaking opportunities that you can apply for.
Right. Oh, I look at that list every week. I go down the list and I say, I could do that. And I have applied for
Awesome.
some. So yeah, I mean, a lot of them are technology, which isn't my...
There's a section that's other stuff too.
I know. So yeah,
But you know what? Even the technology conferences are looking for other stuff too.
Right.
Like we did a lot with the IEEE Women in Engineering International Leadership Conference. Last year we placed 4 speakers there. And not one of them was actually an engineer. There was one person who was out there teaching the engineers to speak, to be public speakers, for example. So there are all kinds of opportunities at technology conferences, so don't shy away from them. They need you.
Well, thank you. You know what? It's true because I believe that, I don't know if I heard some things about Google has somebody on their staff and his title is he's a jolly good fellow.
Nice.
And what he does is he goes around making sure everybody feels good. They have like stuff going on in their company that for the whole, for the whole person.
Yeah.
So there's a need out there for somebody like me to come in and say, hey, when you start taking care of yourself and you start loving who you are and where you're at, then you're going to be more productive at work.
Right. Yep, and those are the kinds of things that we find through our third way that we get our speakers' engagements. We call it our concierge service. Number one, if an event manager can't find what they need on the database, we will find it for them.
Oh, nice.
So we say to them, you can't find it there? We'll search for you. And I will dip into my personal network.
Right.
I've been called the human LinkedIn of Boston.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty well connected.
And she's here with me today. Can you believe it? How lucky. Who's better than me? Right? Let's see, there we go. I'm like, my gosh, I'm very blessed to be here. So I'm very blessed that you're here with me because I know.
So that concierge service, we are helping the event managers who reach out to us, but we're also reaching out to event managers. And sometimes we're reaching out to the event managers who have a problem. We call it the all-male panel problem. And often they are putting up these embarrassingly archaic promotions of their speakers. And you see the same white guy sitting in the seat.
Right.
And over and over and over again, and there's just a sea of them. You know, there's actually a Tumblr called Congrats, you have an all-male panel. It's the funniest thing ever.
That's funny.
Each picture of the all-male panel is stamped with a picture of David Hasselhoff giving you the big thumbs up.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's great.
I just wonder if the students here at Regis College know who David Hasselhoff is.
Knight
No,
Rider?
they don't know.
No?
No.
Oh.
Baywatch.
Baywatch?
It was
No.
yeah, it's a TV show. It was a TV
Old
show.
Baywatch?
Do you know
There's
who
a new Baywatch, right?
Yeah, yes, the old one.
I think I only knew the women at Baywatch.
Oh, like Pamela Anderson?
Yeah.
Do you, we have a couple of students here in the studio, which I'm so glad that they're here. You want to get on the mic?
They're hiding.
But no.
We're scaring them.
Well, I know. I'm like, okay. Do you know who Archie Bunker is? Like that is like the key. No. They don't know who that is now.
Really?
So it's okay. It's all right.
I was born in '94.
Oh, God.
Oh wait, that's my son was born in '94. So I was on baby number 2 then.
Man.
So, but that's okay.
I waited a little longer, but I got married in '94.
Oh, I got married in '90, but and I just had baby. I had baby. I delivering them.
Nice.
So I'll have a little legacy. My 4 kids.
I have a big legacy. They're
yeah.
really huge.
Your kids are big.
Oh my God, they're like 6'4", 6'5".
My oldest is 6'3", so he's a big guy.
Yeah, I'm the shortest person in my family.
Oh my gosh.
It's really sad.
How tall?
And you can't tell, I'm 5'10".
I'm like not even 5'4". So crazy.
Yeah, they make fun of me for being short, and I'm like, in the real world, I am tall. And maybe in your crazy universe, I'm short.
Right.
But in the real world, I'm tall.
That's all right. You command respect. I love it. Just everybody who holds their head up. So I'm in my little 5'4" self, just almost 5'4". So do you ever do events for the speakers, like Innovation Women events?
Yeah.
Get-togethers?
Yep. So
Okay, when's that? I want to go.
we do a couple of things. We did an event as part of Hub Week last year.
I saw
which
that.
is so cool. The Innovation Women Pop-Up. And you can see innovationwomenpopup.com.
Right.
You can see some of the speakers, and we did it all on Facebook Live as well.
Right.
I was so blessed. I got to interview Jessica Rosenworcel. She is the FCC commissioner who has been defending net neutrality. She's amazing. She's
Right.
really amazing. So just an awesome person, and she happened to be in town during Hub Week, and her team arranged for her to come in, and I was able to have a conversation with her.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that was just one of 2 days worth of speakers.
Right.
So 99% of them were out of the Innovation Women database. We had speakers from MITRE Corporation,
Mm-hmm.
Emerson College, FreshBooks, just a number of independent consultants. We had a woman who's on the board of IEEE, just great conversations about technology and women and careers. It was a good couple of days.
That's amazing. Well, I think I was in and out of town around that time, but I couldn't make it because I had wanted to come.
Yeah.
I'm here quite a bit, but sometimes I just miss whatever is going on when I'm here. I try to go to.
And there's a lot going on in Boston.
There's a lot going on. It really is, and it's a lot of fun. And I love how women are supporting women.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of problems with that. A lot of times, if you're not comfortable in your own skin.
Get it.
I don't either.
I just don't get it.
I don't either. And the thing is you have I think I know where it stems from. If you're not comfortable in your own skin, if you're not okay where you're at, if you're not walking in your zone and aligning with your purpose, I'm going to be talking about this today a little later on. If you're not where you're at, then you don't know how to stay in your own lane.
Mm.
You want to get in everybody else's lane, or you're mad at their lane. And it's a problem. And, I'm one of those people that has no problem. I sit down, if I'm sit down at a bar next to a beautiful woman, I say, oh my gosh, you are so pretty. And I had a girl say to me, I had the worst day.
Aww.
Thank you so much. You just made my day. And, I don't know, that's just me, and it's taken me a while to get there, but I've never been really jealous of other women, but just being okay in my own skin.
I also think there's a fear factor with a lot of women. It's like we are bombarded with these constant messages about all the negative things.
Right.
And, if you keep hearing negative thing after negative thing, you're kind of often waiting for that other shoe to drop. And so, I think the ability of shows like yours to talk about the positive things.
Right.
And, to show and demonstrate that we are supporting each other.
Right.
I think it's so important.
It is. And you just have to change your mind. That's what I'm going to talk about today in my talk. You just have to change your mind. You don't have to do anything to your to-do list. Just change your mind, change the way you're thinking, make some good choices, and your world will change.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, more Bobbie Carlton and the Just Steph Rules of Dating. This one is for the birthday peeps. My son, Richie O'Connell, happy birthday. Yeah, he's 26 today.
Oh my God.
Clay Howard, Paul Oliva, and my guy, Eddie Stack. Happy birthday, guys. There we go. Oh,
He's dancing.
oh yeah, this was, oh, yeah, this one is for, this is Tavares. You probably don't know this one. This is Tavares. They're actually from New Bedford. And
They are.
they're from New Bedford. And my friend Sue Lavolo wanted this song. She asked. I get requests. Hey Scott. Hey April. Hi Dia. Hi Carol Ann. Hi Alex. Hi
Hi.
Kristen Bryan.
I always forget.
Hi Steve. Hi
I'm
Bill.
doing this.
Hi Jackie.
And I'm like,
Jackie
yeah, there's
Zuck.
people watching.
Jackie Zuck is watching. Hi Brian. Yay. Oh, okay, I can't scroll it. Oh well.
Why is it not scrolling?
I don't know. There it goes. All right. All right, kids, what's going on? Oh my gosh. I love this song.
I haven't heard this in a long time.
You all kiss?
I used to go roller skating to this.
Oh, that's so funny. Kieran's like, oh my gosh, what is this? Our moms are in the studio.
You have a 26-year-old?
Mhm.
You having kids at like 12?
I'm 51.
Yeah, it doesn't look it.
Thank you. I'm going on TV.
Nice.
I want to be on TV. I
That's
mean
good.
it.
Yeah.
I want to have my own talk show on TV.
Nice.
When do
I'm
you go
going
next?
there. I waited, I stayed home with that for 20 years, raising my kids, and, I look back now, I should have probably worked, but,
You know what? My husband, same thing.
but I am where I'm at,
Yeah. And now, 21 years later, he works for me. Works for my companies.
Oh, he helps you out with that? Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, keep it in the family.
Right. I'm just going to check into the studio, make sure everything's good.
So are you guys originally from Boston?
I'm
Yes.
originally from New York. But
I'm from
she's-
Medford.
Okay, okay.
Meffa.
I'm a Meffa girl. Meffa girl.
I lived in Meffa.
You did?
Yeah. Like right on that crazy little circle underneath 93. It's like this house, this apartment building, like right there. Like my third floor apartment looked right out onto
you mean
93.
near the Saltonstall building in Medford Square?
Yeah. On the other side though. I was on the other side of 93.
Oh, that's like Mystic
Like
Ave.
right going into
Near
the
Mystic
square.
Ave?
What is it?
Oh, you were like, by the ring road.
Yes. Yes. Like you go around.
That
Memphis
ring
Square.
road wasn't there when I was a kid. I'm just saying. So, yeah, no, I'm from Medford, but I attended Pope John High School in Everett,
No idea where that
and
is.
then I was on Broadway in Everett, and then I came here for 4 years, and then I got married. And then I got divorced.
And then you moved to Atlanta, or did you?
I moved to California first.
I'm from
Okay.
California.
Oh, I lived in Irvine.
Oh, Irvine. I live in LA, so Irvine's like an hour away
Yeah.
from LA.
And so, oh, look at it. Look at our station ID. Okay, here we go. All right, we are back with Bobbie Carlton from Innovation Women and all the other companies you have. I can't keep up. There's too many to list. That's awesome, though. So we'll talk about more. I want to find out how you're handling all that in a little bit. But that song, Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel by Tavares, they're out of New Bedford, Massachusetts, and that was for Sue Greco. Okay, so I want to talk about, living with an entrepreneur can be difficult. So especially if they're the breadwinner. And so I want to talk about hitching your wagon to an entrepreneur. And this is dating advice for second lifers, and this is the Just Steph Rules of Dating. Here we go. Here we go.
Look at you.
Woo! Okay, all right. So, since you're the entrepreneur now, when I was married, my ex-husband, he has a big company, and he's actually worldwide, and he's in construction. So I stayed home with my kids. But I had that entrepreneurial spirit, and when I was going through my divorce, I decided, well, what am I going to do? I still want to take care of my kids. So I started writing, and I did my book and all that stuff, and it took me a while to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I had, my degree was from Regis. I was in management communications. I loved radio, but it's very difficult to break into radio.
And frankly, a lot of radio is not terrific pay either.
Oh, or it costs.
There is that.
So yeah, I mean, whatever it is, but I just decided, well, this is what I'm going to do, but I could, the money was okay, so I could do that. But what about when you have a family? What do you think?
When I started Carlton PR Marketing, it was really me consulting. I had been working with a startup until 2008,
Right.
and the financial crisis hit, and
Right.
all of a sudden, no more startup and no more jobs anywhere,
Right.
especially for marketing people. So it was like I didn't have a choice.
Right.
I'm unemployed. I'd been working for startup wages for a few years, and I had a husband who didn't work and 2 kids at home.
Right.
So it was, you haven't got a choice, this is what you're going to do.
Right.
And, in retrospect, I look back and I go, gosh, why didn't I start doing my own thing earlier?
Right.
My dad was an entrepreneur. I was constantly exposed to running your own business. So why did I always feel the need to go and work for somebody else? I had great corporate jobs. I was the head of global PR for a couple of different enterprise software companies. Then I went to work for a girl brand. That was
Right.
fun.
Yeah,
It's like enterprise software, flowered pillows. It's like, it all makes sense. It's all marketing, right?
Right.
But all of a sudden it all came crashing down, and there was consulting, and that was about it.
Right.
But that was at the time that social media was really just starting to
Right.
come up. And I looked at that and I said, there is an opportunity. And so I started tweeting, and then I created Innovation Nights. And Innovation Nights was a way to have a sandbox and that I could play in, that I could experiment with.
Right.
That I wasn't experimenting on any client.
Right.
That was important to me.
Right.
And so that experimenting gave me visibility. It gave me an opportunity to get out there in the marketplace and show people what I could do.
Right. So, but in the terms of a relationship, like, how did that work with your husband? Was there a little bit of tension there for a bit?
Over the years, he's been incredibly trusting of my ability to keep food on the table and keep making a living. There are days when he's like, you're driving yourself crazy, you're not taking good care of yourself.
Right.
And he worries about me.
Right.
And
That's nice.
and at the same time, it's like you could go back and get a corporate job and make lots of money and, not be working 100 hours a week. What are you doing?
Right.
But he also understands when I say I'm probably, next to unemployable. I've been doing my own thing now for more than 9 years.
Right.
And I love it. And I know he's proud of what I do. But, there's always that worry in the background, I think, for both of us.
I think it's difficult, and I think it could be very difficult for, if I was staying at home with my kids, and then, you have to worry about the money coming in with an entrepreneur, or, sometimes, and there's a lot of emotional ups and downs with an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Some days are really great, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it, and the next day it could be right down because, well, it just didn't work out. And I think emotionally, entrepreneurs can be this, up and down, and you have to cope with that as a partner.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm an emotional roller coaster, and at the same time, we're both pretty even keel.
Right.
There's a certain amount of maturity I think, that comes with being an older entrepreneur.
Right.
You know that there are ups and downs, and there's a certain amount of you're prepared for it. But at the same time, there are days when it looks pretty darn black, and I go home and I know that there's a supportive person waiting for me.
Right. So I think it's difficult, in the dating scene. So if you're out there dating and, you say for a woman who goes out in the dating world and you start going out with an entrepreneur who really doesn't have any income, you're like, okay, who's paying for dinner tonight? It's kind of can be tough.
Yeah.
And so, especially if you're used to a certain level of, socializing.
Yeah, but I think, like for our relationship, my husband took care of the kids. He's the chauffeur, the cook. I mean, I haven't cooked meals in years. He does all of these things, and sometimes I wonder, like, I definitely have the better end of this deal.
Oh
my God.
I'm going to tell you right now, I stayed home with my kids, so it's easier to go to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
But here's the key to that. The other person has to know that. The person who's going out to work has to know that. And, I didn't have that in my marriage. I was lucky. Yeah, I was lucky.
Yeah.
I was lucky to, and you know what? I was lucky.
I mean, there are days when I would
lucky.
love to stay home with the kids.
Right.
Absolutely. They're amazing guys. At the same time, it's like I had adult conversation every day in my life. While somebody was running around after toddlers.
Right.
Somebody.
Right.
Yeah, I know who.
Right. Well, I mean, I think, though, what's nice to hear from you is that you understand what he was doing. I think sometimes men who go off to work don't really understand what they think. You're sitting home eating bonbons watching Days of Our Lives. Now, my Days of Our Lives days ended at Regis College. When I left, when I was here at Regis, I was, addicted to the soap operas. But when I left, I was too busy.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, there are days I come home and it's like, you really couldn't have vacuumed?
Oh.
And I hear myself and I'm like, oh, shut up.
I know. How does that work? Because, because as women, you sort of have that, where you're going to clean stuff up like that.
Yeah, I have to admit, I can't work at home. Because when I work at home, I'm on a conference call and I'm running around with a feather duster because it bugs me because there's a cobweb up there.
Right.
But I get home late at night and it's dark and you kind of can't see the cobwebs.
Right, you're okay.
I'm good, yeah.
Right.
But if I'm at home during the daylight and I'm like, oh, there's dust.
I don't have an office, when I work, when I write, I have a place in my bedroom where I love it. I really love being there. It's just, I just love it. It's a great place for me to meditate and to work, and I just love it. However, I'm better if I have to leave.
Yep.
So when I work from Boston all summer, I'll work, but then I'll rent an office for like a little bit.
There are awesome co-working spaces.
Right.
And, it's like I have my own office. My team has an office in Lexington. But the great co-working spaces, Work Bar, WeWork, CIC.
I love WeWork.
Awesome places.
I love WeWork. It's great.
And I'm not tempted to clean there.
Well, you don't have to, which is nice. I love it because they have like coffee and they have all kinds of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
It's great. So I that's what I do when I come to Boston in the summer. I will rent a space because I get dressed and I go to work.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like to do that because I feel like I'm more productive. I'm very creative outside of my home environment.
Yeah. My husband actually works at our house. So he's always there available to, pick up kids or whatever. Right. Tuesday he was waiting for the guy to come repair the stove.
Right.
And I'm like, bye. He seemingly can work at home.
So I think men, do you think men are more open to that nowadays than, more than they were years ago?
Yeah, I mean, you have to realize, my husband stayed home with kids 21 years ago.
Right.
That was a long time in the grand scheme of things. And I know that most of the other stay-at-home parents that he was connecting with were moms.
Right. Because I think today there's a real, there's a real need for moms to be okay with working or, be okay with where they're at, like making that decision. Because back when I was, I decided to stay home, I left my job right when I had my first baby, and I never went back.
Yeah, he left right when we had our first child.
I did that. I wish I didn't. I wish I worked just because to keep up. But again, maybe I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, which is what I love.
But don't forget, 20 years ago, 26 years ago, I can't believe you have a
Yes.
26-year-old, but it wasn't as easy to work at home. It
Right.
wasn't as easy to have
Right.
a phone system that you could carry with you,
Right.
a laptop that you could carry with you. We had desktops. It was a big investment to work at home.
Right.
All that said, try working at home with a toddler.
I
tough.
couldn't forget about it. I couldn't even cook a meal.
Yeah.
It was hard to even cook, to do the regular, house stuff. But I think, today, women today are not so torn.
Yeah. There's more
There's
flexibility
way more,
today.
they can be part-time, they can job share, they can, they can definitely go to work if they want and not worry. I personally wanted to take care of my babies. That was just me, that was my choice. I didn't want anybody else taking care of my babies. I didn't want anybody else holding them. I wanted to do it. That was me, and it was sort of a control freak thing. I was being a control freak, and I'll admit that.
It's all right.
But I think today, if I had to do it over again, I would do something. Something that was beneficial for me, and because I think then you're better at home. I think when you take care of yourself, you're better at home.
One of my advisors once told me that the greatest untapped resource of our time is kindergarten moms.
Ah,
They've been home. It's not been that long.
right.
The kids are off at school part of the day. And all we need are workplaces that give them the flexibility to still be the mom of the kindergarten kid, but also to work and keep their skills fresh.
That's really the key is to keep those skills fresh, because like Microsoft Office, I'm not good at.
And it changes every day.
Right, but I'm pretty good now. I've taught myself Keynote and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm on the Apple products and numbers. I taught myself. However, there is a TED Talk out there, and I can't remember the lady's name. I'm going to Google it and I'll send it to you. And she gave a TED Talk on going back into the workplace after an extended absence, whether you stayed home with your kids, whether you had a sick person, or you're in the military. And it was an amazing TED Talk, because for me, listening to that, I thought what she was saying is there's real advantages to hiring somebody who's been away for a while.
Yep.
The only disadvantage would be the technology, which is just a learning curve. You can just learn that. But one of the advantages are, number one, we're not trying to find ourselves at the expense of the company. We're done having the kids because we're older. There's less, and we're very much into it, and if I were to take a college course today or a graduate level course, I'm getting an A.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know?
The skill set to raise kids, to manage a household, budgeting, all of these things, the life skills, the interpersonal skills of an older, more mature person, you just raised little beings.
Right.
And they're not heathens, and they're not, wild animals.
Right.
The amount of skills that go into molding and shaping and just keeping them alive is
Exactly.
incredible.
Well, and there's so much time management,
Yeah.
and there's so much organization. I'm so organized.
My team is primarily made up of moms. Yes, we have a few guys on the team as
Right.
well, and we have, some younger women as well, but for the most part, I love having the moms team. They are awesome at what they do. They're super smart and super organized. far more organized than I am. I'm like, I missed out on all those like mom training.
Right. Well, I mean, I just think it, it's great to give people a chance. And what this lady was saying on the TED Talk was that go in, do a job interview, and offer it as sort of an internship where it's a trial period.
Mm-hmm.
And, and just be, like the 50, like, Robert De Niro, the older intern.
Yeah.
So, you could do that, and then you can see if it works. Because the truth is it may not be a fit for you, let alone the company.
Yeah, there are 2 local Boston area companies that do stuff to bring moms back to work. One of them is called iRelaunch, and the other one is called Reach Hire. And they are helping women come back, and men sometimes come back into the workforce.
Right.
There's training, there's skills refresh, and there's connections that they offer.
So is it more like a headhunter, a placement?
They have different programs. I mean, I think Reach Hire has training, and then they set up their people with jobs inside companies. Not internships, but maybe more apprenticeships. And then iRelaunch has a number of different programs that they do. So, very different types of things. I'm sure there are other companies out there as well.
So basically, have patience with your entrepreneur, right? I mean, that's sort of the bottom line. I think though it has to, it takes a certain person too. I mean,
it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. It definitely goes both ways. But I think when you have to decide, and I think as a second lifer where I had to start dating, you have sort of an idea of what what's going to work for you.
Yeah.
And what and what's going to work for that, what's going to work for the other person, and so you have to know if you start dating an entrepreneur, what you're going to get. It's going to be, late nights, weekends. Yeah. But it's actually the same for anybody who owns their own company. You're on 24/7.
Yeah.
When I was married,
it's hard.
When I was married, we would get on a vacation and we just land, and he'd go, I got to go. Where are you going? I got to go to Dallas. There's something wrong with the job there.
No.
Okay. I was with 4, or I'll meet you. I have 4 kids going skiing, and doing that and getting out there, and also you have to understand, if people don't know, I have a limb difference, so holding all the stuff is not easy. I mean, just the physical limitations. So skiing with 4 kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but 4 kids, anybody's outnumbered.
Yeah. Well, I can't hold the skis. Like, I can't hold the stuff. So, it's just really, so it's just the real life. So when you hitch your wagon to an entrepreneur or somebody who owns their own company, you sort of have to have an understanding that this could be 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
But
you know what? My husband's a musician. So as the kids got older, he got involved with different bands and orchestras.
Which is fun.
And he loves it. I mean, and he's an incredible musician, and he plays multiple instruments.
Oh, that's nice.
And he plays in orchestras where, it's the concerts with the tux and the bassoon, and it's all very formal. And then there are these, crazy street bands that he plays with, where he plays a saxophone,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all dressed up in crazy costumes to support different causes.
Right.
And all of a sudden I was like, you belong to this band, this band, this band, this band. Wait a minute, that's like one for every day of the week.
That's funny.
So, I may have my thing, he's got his thing too.
Well, that just sounds like it's mutual respect.
Yeah.
And
it's also, we've both got our own thing.
Right.
Yes, there's absolutely time for the family and each other, but there's also things that we love doing.
Right, it's individuality, and so when you're individuals, you can come together and enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very important to have individual outlets, friends, and things you do, because you can't hang your hat on a hook that can't bear its weight. And having your partner be everything, your end all be all, is just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Because nobody can be everything to anyone.
Yeah, there's also a certain amount of self-sufficiency that is required And I think, being an entrepreneur, but also being really, involved with an entrepreneur.
Right. You have to be self-sufficient, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Okay, we're gonna take another quick break, and we come back, more Bobbie Carlton, and this one is for Mal Duane, Amy Aria, and Jamie Irizarry. Thanks for liking my Just Steph page, and this is for Kenny Morganti. Okay. Hi, Tony. How are you? So Dia, my friend in Atlanta, says, I was at the Icon Summit. It is a great networking event.
Oh.
I would love to introduce Karen to Laurie Cheshire of the Southern Barter. I don't know who she's talking about. Southern Barter Club. Are you talking about Bobbie? Dia? Or you? Or Karen?
I'm Karen.
I know, she's Karen over there. But that's okay. That's all right. All right. Okay. So we'll just talk about your journey and how you got to where, a little bit more about, maybe your upbringing, where you're going, and then how people can get a hold of you, who should be contacting you, anybody, we'll talk about all that stuff. The biz, and then I'll do living in Atlanta. So,
Stephanie, what is your ethnicity?
ooh, I'm Sicilian.
Yes. Scarpolino.
Oh, there you go.
Mostly from Milan and kind of the upper.
Oh, northern Italian. Yeah, because you're light.
Yeah.
I'm from the south. My grandmother's from Riese in Sicily.
Yeah, people look at, blonde hair or blue eyes and red hair and go, Italian?
I had
You have a very, I'm Latina, right? So you have a very Latin last name, but it's because you're Italian.
well, Palermo is the capital of Sicily.
That's crazy.
So
Nice.
yeah, but I had last week on my show was Mike Marino, who is an Italian comedian out of New Jersey, and his whole tour is called Make America Italian Again.
Somebody just reached out to me on Twitter, is looking for a speaker.
Oh,
That's the kind of stuff that,
oh, good.
what do they want? They want somebody to talk about.
Let's talk about the paid versus.
We have a huge conference coming up.
Yay!
And I
I can do
through
it.
amazing tech innovation female leaders.
Okay, well that's not me. But
Oh yeah, totally. But it could be.
there you go. But you know what? Let's talk about the difference between the paid and the unpaid gigs and what you should take.
Yeah. Actually, I'm writing an article for our next newsletter specifically on that because somebody asked the question on Facebook.
Okay, let's do it.
So,
Let's do it. Because I've done a lot of most of my stuff has been, everything's been for free up until now.
it's not it depends on the kind of what your business model is.
Right.
Sometimes it makes sense.
Right. Well, I had to build my brand.
Yeah.
I actually was streamlining. Oh, are we done?
This one
I
goes
guess
fast.
we're okay. Whoa! All right, we're back. All right. Well, okay. So, Bobbie, you started your own company in 2008, and you have a lot going on. We talked about you have 3 companies, and you have 30 years of experience in public relations and marketing, including stints as the head of global PR for large public companies like Cognos and PTC. The head of marketing for a girl brand, focused on positive role models for tweens, and work with various agencies in the Boston market. That's exciting. So you've done a lot of stuff.
Keeps me busy and off the streets.
Yeah, there you go. I know. Well, we were sort of talking off air about the difference between a paid gig and an unpaid gig as a speaker. What do you think you should do? I mean, how many, unpaid events should you do?
Yeah, so
Fill me in.
So this is like one of the most complex and common questions that we get. It's like, are the gigs that you're promoting through Innovation Women paid or unpaid? Some, depends. So we did a survey early on of the event managers that we work with, and really broad, like hundreds of event managers answered this survey. 50% of event managers have absolutely no budget for speakers. 42% have budget for some speakers, whether that's for just the keynotes or they have travel expense money for people
Right.
that need help getting to a conference. They might have compensation, where they are saying, okay, you're getting a free ticket to this event you would have paid to go to. There's a bunch of different kind of compensation.
Right.
And then just 8% of event managers have budget for speakers. So you have to kind of go in understanding how events work so that you can figure out when they are going to be paying and when they're not going to be paying. And there's almost no correlation whatsoever between kind of the prominence of the event and call it the richness of the event organizer
Right.
and who pays. For example, for the last couple of years, I've spoken at a small conference specifically for writers who pay every single solitary speaker. And I've spoken at massive conventions, absolutely have no one that they pay because the model is different.
Right.
So I wrote an article on LinkedIn a little while ago about how to set your speaking price, because that's often one of the first questions
Right.
people get, like, how much do I charge? Depends, who's speaking. Is Google calling up and saying, I need a half-day workshop, or is it the nonprofit down the street going, can you help us?
Right.
If you're the same speaker, different price points.
Right.
One of them you're probably doing out of the goodness of your heart, and the other one you've got to do an immense amount of work and preparation
Right.
to go in and be effective.
Right.
So same speaker, two different prices. There are so many conferences that offer visibility and opportunity that do not pay speakers. And a different speaker can look at it and go, that's a great opportunity, and another speaker will say that's a terrible opportunity.
Right.
So if you're an author, for example, you have a book to sell. Every time you get on stage in front of an audience, if you set it up right, there's a good chance that a whole bunch of people in that audience will buy your book.
Right.
You can get paid that way.
Right.
If you are running a business and the people in the audience are 100% your potential customers, you might actually pay to get on that stage.
Right.
So it's so many different factors. A lot of the technical conferences, they're set up to be supported by the big technical companies. And they know, I work for Oracle or SAP, and, my job is to get myself on stage to promote my company and my products.
Right.
That conference is not going to pay you to speak. So you have to understand where the conferences are coming from and who benefits by you being on stage. If the audience is the one that benefits from you being on stage, you're more likely to get paid.
Right.
If you are the one that's benefiting by being on that stage, it's less likely you'll get paid to speak.
Right.
So you have to look at the types of conferences. If you're speaking inside a corporation, if you're coming in to offer a workshop,
Right. A lunch and learn.
a lunch and learn, something like that, you're offering a service to that corporation, they will be paying
Right.
you. If it's an employee resource group inside the company, they might actually have no budget to pay you. So is it the corporation that's hiring you or an inside group of individuals?
Right.
So many questions. It's so complex and so confusing. And there are people who basically speak for a living. That's all they do.
Right.
And they're handled by agents who literally spend 100% of their time marketing and selling a stable of speakers.
Right.
That's a traditional speakers bureau. That's one of the reasons that we call Innovation Women a visibility bureau,
Right.
because we're kind of handling a raft of different types of opportunities. We know that many of the opportunities are not paid, but the people who are speaking primarily for visibility for themselves and their companies. They're looking for the job growth. They're looking for the connections. They're looking for a way to sell their services. You know, if you can say, I was on stage at CES, your value as a speaker goes up.
Right. I had a guest on my show a year or so ago who said that for every unpaid speaking engagement, he would get 3
Yes.
paid, because there was somebody in the audience that would hire him, so.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you earlier about the IEEE Women in Engineering International Leadership Conference.
Right.
So one of our Innovation Women speakers runs speaker groups, they're clubs,
Right.
where speakers get together and they help each other get better speaking.
Almost like a Toastmasters?
It's Toastmasters for women.
Oh, there you go.
And they're awesome. It's called the Speaker Sisterhood. And so she was out there speaking. She's a great speaker. And she got herself to that conference. She spoke for free. And as she finished her presentation, I watched the corporate representatives line up with their cards in hand. How do I book you? How do I book you? How do I book you? She was like, this is awesome.
Wow.
You know, it's like that speaking engagement that she did with the right people in the room made her money. Not directly,
Right.
but indirectly.
So you sort of have to have, you know, a little intuition on whether or not this is going to be good for me.
There's a lot of research that goes into this. I mean, we do it all the time. You know, people all the time will ask me to speak, and I speak a lot for free, but I also get paid to speak a lot.
Right.
So, you know, it's all looking at what's the model. Is there somebody who's making money off selling tickets to see just me?
Right.
That's a different type of model
Right.
than if it's I'm able to stand up in front of the audience and go, hey, you need to be using Innovation Women, you know, either to get speaking engagements or to find speakers.
Correct. Right, because then they come into you, you're making money from
Right.
them by joining the,
But I've got a mission-based company to get more women on stage. So every time I'm standing in front of an audience that's filled with people that could potentially be hiring our speakers, we all win.
right.
And there's this, we call it the speaker's paradise. There's this thing happening right now. And part of it is because of the rise of digital marketing. There are so many more speaking opportunities than there were 10 years ago, because you have things like Meetup, Eventbrite. You know, it's
Yeah.
possible for non-professional event people to create events.
Right.
And, you know, you look at the meetups. Did you know there are 500,000 meetups every month?
I belong to a few of them, yeah.
I mean, 500,000.
I actually started my own.
And you know what? A lot of those meetups every month have a panel of speakers or a group of speakers. It's like 500,000 times 4. That's
Right.
2 million speaking opportunities a month. Eventbrite sold tickets to 2 million events last year. A lot of those are events that are driven by speakers.
So why do you think people are just hungry for information, for more information, or
They're hungry for
expertise?
connection. They're hungry for connection. That's why I call it the speaker's paradise, because there's a point where you're marketing to people and you're connecting with people online, where you kind of have to get in the room and touch them and talk to them person to person, even if it's one speaker to many people in an audience.
So basically, what I'm hearing you say is technology, the internet, and social media has, even though we're out there and we're everywhere, we're not one-on-one, we're not close up, we're not having this personal connection.
People buy from people.
Right.
People connect with people. You know, yeah, there's some products I'll like go to Amazon and buy.
Right.
But there are things like, you know, I sit in the audience and I hear a book reading. I'm like, I want that book.
Right.
Do I want that book the same way if I see somebody online or I see somebody, you know, or even hear somebody on the radio? It's not the same.
It's so funny that you're talking about this, because I've been mulling stuff over in my head for my own business, and when I have my workshops, I have made it very personal where in everybody's binder, they get a personal written note from me, handwritten.
Yeah, connection.
And I talk to them, and I'm actually going to start reaching out to them more often. However, because of that, I thought, I'm going to make this really personal. Like, I'm going to touch every person that I can, and because every person has value. This is what I'm speaking about, so I need to live it. It's what I love. It's what I want to do. And so I love that you brought this up, because it just is confirmation for me that I'm on the right track with what I'm trying to do, because I sort of believe that that's what we're missing, with all of this that's going on. We have everything, and we're in touch with people, but it really isn't the way it was when I grew up, where people just dropped by. And came and we sat at the table together. I talk about this all the time on my show, and everyone's probably going, okay, who cares? We're done with that. However, I loved that when my kids have texted me, can my friend come over? I'm like, are you kidding me? Get over here and talk to me. Let's have that connection. Let's be together. My son didn't want to come Saturday night to the play, because he wanted to play video games. And so I said, no, we're all going. Your 23-year-old brother is going. You're going to go. We're going together. This is a family event. We're doing this. And we had an amazing evening.
Yeah.
And what was funny? I'm going to tell a little quick story about this. When we dropped my son Sean off at his apartment in Buckhead, I needed gas, and so this was like 12 o'clock at night in Atlanta. And so I pulled in, and a gentleman came up to the window, and my mother, of course, immediately got afraid, and I heard what he was saying. He said, I need a blanket. And you know what was very funny? Who would have a blanket in their car? Me. You know why? Because we were going to an outdoor theater, and I brought like 7 blankets in the car because it was cold.
Right.
We ended up being inside because the weather was bad. But I gave the guy 2 blankets. And you know what? My son, if he didn't come with us, wouldn't have seen it.
Wouldn't
my
have witnessed
13-year-old.
that. Yeah.
And I could have been very scared and not done anything, but I decided, and I'm not tooting my own horn, this is more about the interaction with my son.
Mm-hmm.
That he saw, and I sort of thought it was a universe, God thing, whatever you want to call it, because he didn't ask for money. He asked for a blanket. And I would have never had a blanket in my car.
Yep. And you had one.
I had many. I gave him 2. So, I just think that that's the interaction, the people-to-people thing that we're missing. We're all hands off.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important, and I think in our businesses, this is why Google has for He's a Jolly Good Fellow. He's making sure everybody's happy.
And making sure they're connected.
And they're connected.
He's a networker,
right.
A super connector probably inside the organization.
Right, a connector. That's very important. So let's talk for a couple of minutes real quick, because we have to move on to Living Atlanta, but who should be reaching out to you, Innovation Women, what kind of speakers, anybody?
So we always said, when we started, it was entrepreneurial and technical women, and the first real estate agent who popped in, I'm like, I'm giving her back her money. And she got a speaking engagement like that. And I was like, okay,
right.
Good. And then there was a yoga teacher who came in, and I said, that's not right. And she got a speaking engagement teaching entrepreneurs to relax. So it's incredibly broad. We are absolutely, our top priority is those technical conferences and those entrepreneurial startup events where there are so few women represented, and the women who are out there need that visibility.
Right.
So we're always looking for more speakers like that. We're also looking for conference organizers, and if you're running a meetup or running an event that you would put up on Eventbrite and you need more speakers, we probably have someone that could be a great speaker for you, and we're not like a traditional speakers bureau. We do have speakers that speak primarily for visibility for themselves and their company, but even the speakers who get paid to speak, they're not sharing a fee with me. That's their money. So there's not a whole extra fee built in.
Right.
So it's a lot more affordable, especially for smaller events.
Right.
So
love that.
that's and it's all self-service. You're connecting directly with the speaker on our platform. So event managers sign up. It's a free thing for you. And for women who want to speak, it's literally $100 a year for a membership.
Right.
And we are out there marketing it all the time for you. We're sending you that newsletter on Fridays with a whole list of opportunities.
I love that newsletter.
It's a cool newsletter.
I love
Maybe
that
a little,
newsletter.
little ugly. I'm trying to make it prettier.
No, I don't. You know what? I like the list. I'm very type A,
Cool
so I
list.
like the list. I go down
Okay.
I scroll down. That's me. I don't know if somebody else wants pretty. You know, I'm just not a pink girl.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah, I'm very red.
Not either.
So, so how can people find you?
InnovationWomen.com. On Twitter, we're WomenInno. And you can find me on Twitter as well, Bobbie C, Bobbie.
I love that.
C. So that's me.
You're on Instagram.
Not real well. I got to focus on things.
I
It's like I
know.
can only do so much.
So you like the Twitter the best.
I do.
Yeah.
I started there, and there's some real reasons for that from a marketing point of
Right.
view.
It's quick.
It's quick, but
It's
also individual tweets are searchable and they're indexed, some of them by Google.
Right.
It's so hard to find things on Facebook.
It is.
So there's definitely some real reasons from a marketing point of view,
Right.
while I'm still, a Twitter girl at heart.
There you go. So that's it. That's where we can find you. I'm going to be broadcasting all summer
Nice.
from Boston. So will you come back sometime?
I will totally come back
And
anytime.
And
for
I'm
you.
planning on. I want to come to some of your events.
Yeah. The next Mass Innovation Nights events will be at Draper Labs, May 10th. So it's going to be robotics and wearable devices.
Oh, there you go.
That's pretty cool.
Do they have hands?
I don't know.
I'm just.
We'll have to go look.
I'm not in the market for one, but you never know.
You never know.
You never know. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Living Atlanta. This song goes out to my Boston birthdays: Dina Akel, Mike DeStasio, Deb DiGiovanni, Lisa Serra. Happy birthday, kids! And this one is from Mary Ellen Wilson Smith. So you know what? If you want, we can take a quick picture.
Or are we? Does it like cut out?
I don't know. I don't listen. I'm. This is,
I hope they could hear us.
So Bill's watching. Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave Colangeli. Hi. Are you still in Medford? Hi, Susanna Allen. You know what? If you want, we can take a picture. You can either.
I was gonna say,
or we can. You can stay for Living Atlanta. You don't have to.
I've been getting phone calls the whole time I've been here, so I probably have to run.
Okay, so let's take a quick picture.
Yeah.
And do you think you could take a picture with, because my phone's stuck, and then you can text it to me? But let's quick before this song is over. So, because then I will put this
Maybe
on.
you guys should stand on this side because the lighting.
Okay. So,
And I need one for my phone as well.
all right, we're taking a picture, people.
Damn.
So.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Great. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
You do that so well.
She's awesome. Kids are great. I love it. I love it. Love the interns. Awesome.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna get back on, but
Yes.
thank you, thank
Oh my
you, thank
God.
you.
It's so good to see you.
You too, and I'm so glad we met. I love it. I love everything you're doing, and thank you a million times over for promoting my stuff. It means a lot.
Anytime. Because you know what? Every time we promote what you do, there's a chance that somebody else will see it and want you.
I know. So I'm hoping to come to some of your events. I really am.
Yeah, let me know.
All right,
And,
kids.
where do you stay when you're in town?
My boyfriend lives in Wakefield.
Nice. So you're not far away.
No.
So my office is in Lexington. So
Right,
if you're
right.
ever, like hanging around, need a place or whatever, give us a yell.
Oh yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. All right.
Bye.
Bye, Bobbie.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you again.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Do you want to jump on?
Sure you do.
Yeah, come on. We'll have some fun. Of course, I can't see without my glasses because I'm 100. Okay.
Sorry, I don't want to put the headphones on. I don't ruin my hair.
You're gonna ruin your hair?
Yeah.
You know how many people I had say that to me? Mostly men.
Really?
In my studio. The hair.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous. All right, we are back. Thank you for Bobbie C for being here today. It was amazing. I love talking to her about business. It really actually helped me out a lot. So I got Karen here with me. Hey, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
Karen's the graduate student here at Regis College, and I'm just grateful to be here and be able to use the studio.
Yeah,
So,
anytime.
thank you. All right, you wanted to know where to go this weekend, and you've been waiting for Living Atlanta. Don't believe me, just watch. All right, kids. So listen, before you go out this weekend, remember, drink responsibly, drive responsibly, call Uber, call Lyft, call a friend. Take a cab, leave your car at the valet. Do not drink and drive. I say it every week. I know you're sick of it, but really, this, please don't do it. It really is stupid. I have to say, it really is stupid. All right, so this weekend, what are you doing this weekend? Are you 21?
I am.
Oh, thank God, yeah.
I am 21.
Oh, good. What are you going to do? Anything fun?
No, I have work this weekend.
You, like working or homework?
No, like working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where do you work?
At Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, everybody in Boston must love you.
Right? Yeah, they do.
That's a great place to be if you want to be loved.
Yeah, until you're on the other side of the counter.
Yeah, well, that's funny. Are you here? Is it close by here?
It's in the library, yeah.
Oh, here. Oh, nice. Okay, right on campus. Well, they didn't have that stuff when I was here.
I know, right?
Yeah, we didn't even have anything but the cafeteria.
Oh, not even the bistro, the LSU, nothing like that?
No, later on they opened it, but it was very limited.
Okay, yeah.
It was like pizza or whatever, or
Yeah.
you can get it was just very limited.
No variety.
We could get nothing. So yeah, it was. We didn't have phones. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were lucky we had outlets. Oh my God. All right, so this weekend, well, tonight I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm tired, but this weekend I'm going to be out in Boston. It's my guy's birthday, so we're going to go out. I think I don't know exactly, we're definitely going to end up at the Kowloon on Saturday night. So we'll be there. So if anybody's going to be in Boston and out and around, so come see me. All right, so listen, this weekend, big weekend, it's Piedmont Park Atlanta Dogwood Festival, and it's all weekend long, and you all know what it's about. But don't miss it. There's lots of stuff going on there. They have artists and food and all of that. So it's a lot of fun, and it is the Atlanta kickoff to spring. Now, my girl, Deb Bowman, I know you heard me earlier talk about Deb Bowman in The Little Mermaid. She's amazing. Don't miss it, please. She's at Serenbe until April 22nd, and you will not be disappointed. And she is just so great. It's a beautiful show. It's very family friendly. I took my kids, but they have great restaurants there, and it's a lot of fun. So don't miss The Little Mermaid with Deb Bowman. DJ Vanessa Hunley is at G's tonight and doing musicology, her themed karaoke, and on Wednesday she's at Metro Cafe Diner downtown. Now, there's always music every night at Dixie Tavern, City Winery, Venkman's. Now, Tuesdays is Joe Granson Free Jazz Jam at Venkman's. Don't miss that. Smithsville Bar, 37 Main, and Mad Life Stage and Studios always has live music. Now, tonight at City Winery, 7 p.m., Geeks Who Drink Trivia Night. So that's a lot of fun. And Mad Life in Woodstock, it's Danielle Nicole, and the Red Light Cafe has 3 Chords and the Truth Jam. It's Lime Thursday at Eclipse de Luna, and Thursday night at the Regent Cocktail Club with Grace Lamour is spinning the discs. Of course, it's probably just a stream, but I have to say spinning the discs because that's at my age. That's what we did. Venkman's at 8, okay, the Velvet Note, it's an open mic jam at 8 p.m. Venkman's at 8 p.m. is Forever 78 with Greg Benku and Monkey from Yacht Rock. And they'll be doing all the tunes, Billy Joel, Bob Seger, and all of that, a lot of fun. And it's King of Karaoke Thursdays at Wild Wings in Alpharetta. And that's at 9:30. So if you want to go do a little karaoke, which I'd like to go some Thursday night, up to Alpharetta and do karaoke. I love karaoke. Now tomorrow is City Winery. It's Candlebox Acoustic Duo at 6 p.m. Wild Wing Cafe in Dunwoody has acoustic, it's a lot of acoustics this weekend with Brennan Burns. 37 Main at 7:15 is Departure. It's a Journey tribute band. And the Red Light Cafe, 8 p.m. has the Raymond Rock and Roll Dance Party. That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, this is Johnny Esposito's gig. Jimmy's Tequila and Carnes is 9 p.m. presents the Nirvana tribute band, Nevermind. It's a $10 cover, and for $70 you can get a table of 6. Venkman's at 10 p.m. is the Atlanta Funk Society, and it's TGIF at the Regent Cocktail Club. Spinning your disc, Joey Casanova. That's right. It's Ladies' Night at Havana, as always, on Friday nights. Now, on Saturday, it's Cardio Blast at Body Design Personal Training. Get your butts burnt off it's right through Georgia Tech.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they run through Georgia Tech. The class is awesome. It's it's a big Cardio Blast class, and you're running all over the campus at Georgia Tech. It's a lot of fun.
Then you must be really losing weight.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I haven't been back, just saying. I've been boxing on Saturdays. At Pure Tequila Roswell at 7 p.m. Okay, my friend Justin Borgman is live on the rooftop at Pure Tequila. Now, see, in Atlanta, it's rooftop and patio season now. It's starting to get nice.
Okay.
So it's not like here
nice
when you're
weather.
freezing.
Yeah.
Mad Life Stage and Studios, this is Saturday night. It's Mock of Ages, the ultimate Def Leppard tribute band. Do you know who Def Leppard is? Okay, yeah, no. My students here don't know who we're talking about. They're like, who is that? It's at the Painted Pin. It's Marte Parte with Sherry Live. And Saturdays at the Regent is with Grace Lamore is back. And Saturday night exclusive at Eclipse de Luna in Buckhead from 9 to 3 a.m. It's a big Latino night. And Wild Wings in members only. Is at Wild Wings in Dunwoody at 9:15. They are amazing. Oh, taqueria, taqueria, whatever, taqueria, whatever. All right, I'm Sicilian. Thank you. I just got corrected. At 37 Main, this is Saturday night. It's Yacht Rock Schooner. They're amazing as well. Wild Wing Cafe in Alpharetta is the Geeks Are Back at 10 p.m. Of course, all of this is on my Living Atlanta page. And Sunday, this is going to be a lot of fun. Gypsy Kitchen, 4 p.m., Bask in the Sun launch party. And, okay, that's Saturday night. Okay, Saturday night, Bill is telling me, Bill, can you pipe in?
I'm here.
There you go. What's going on Saturday?
Well, my band Fork will be playing 500 songs for kids at final at center stages for a great cause. They line up a bunch of bands each night and they play one song and it's really for a great cause. And also, if you're in baseball, the Braves up there in Chicago, Gwinnett Strikers, that used to be artist formerly known as the Gwinnett Braves, they have their home opener side at Fullway Field, and they'll be there all weekend up there in Gwinnett.
Well, we're in Boston, not in Chicago. But that's okay. I don't know if well, everybody's Red Sox fans here.
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah, but that's all right. You know what? I actually saw the Boston Red Sox play at Gwinnett. I did, a couple years back, yeah. 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 Yeah, it was well, it wasn't the Boston Red Sox, it was the Pawtucket. Pawtucket, yeah. So anyway, but okay. Let me just finish up here, and it's because how are we on time? We got I'm about like 1 minute out. So, all right. So Gypsy Kitchen, it's their launch party. They're on it's their rooftop patio party at 4 p.m. It's a lot of fun there. Venkman's at 7 p.m. has Yacht Rock Review Unplugged, and let's see, Johnny's Hideaway is Home Bra at 8:30, $5 cover. So next week I have a very special guest. Chef Henry Chandler of Henry's Louisiana Grill in Ackworth is coming to talk about organ donation because he is an organ recipient, and there's some big gigs going on about that. So we're going to have him in the studio. He's amazing. He's a great guy, and he has an amazing story where basically he was hanging on by a thread and ready to die, didn't think he was going to make it, and lo and behold, he got, I believe, a liver.
Wow.
So, yeah, so it's a great story. He's got a great story. And I am speaking in just a little while here at Regis College to all the students. I hope the students will come and see me. Yeah, well, now they're hearing about it, right, over the air. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be workshop style, so it's going to be very interactive and not boring. And we're going to have a lot of fun today till about 1:45. And I've got a lot of stuff going on. Stay tuned for newsletters, more blogs. I wrote a great blog yesterday. Check that out, juststeph.com. Check out my blog. I'm on Facebook at JustSteph1 on my Just Steph page. I'm on Twitter at Steph Palermo. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, JustSteph1. I am everywhere. Don't miss me. I've got a lot of stuff happening. More stuff is coming out with Just Steph. And if you would please go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, that will be coming out very, very shortly. Okay. That is it. That's all we got for you today.
Oh, you guys had a great show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, kids. Listen, I'll see you next week. Know I love you all. Wishing you love, balance, and peace. Ciao, ciao, baby. Love you.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
Do you need help getting everything together to bring upstairs?
Yes. Okay, so Blake Flex. What's this? Oh, Blake. Yeah, paw socks. That's what I want. Yeah. And hi, DJ Flex. How are you doing? All right, kids, we got to go. I love you. Bye.